The practice video for Hoedown Boogie from Sweet Jazz Suite. This is the viola part. I am going to play it on violin today just because I have it out and we don't go down to the C string for any notes in this piece for you. So if you're looking at my strings and wondering why I'm playing on what, but it is a violin on your viola part today. Okay, so we're going to start at 3, and we're going to talk a lot about chromatic notes and different fingerings you can use with chromatic patterns. So for now, if you'd like to play all these Ds as just open Ds, that's totally fine. If you want to use a 4th finger to move easily down to your low 4, that works too. And then conversely, you could also use a 4 and then do a high 3 for that D flat instead of a low 4. So we'll talk about all those options in class. When I'm going slow for this first run through, I'm just going to use an open D. So we're starting at measure 3. You're going to come in with the violins and all the violins. Cello bass start us off. And we're just going to move down from an open D to low 4 on G, and then back up, back and forth between those kind of 3, 4 notes here. All right, so here's line 1, nice and slow. We're just figuring out notes. 1 and 2 and. And again, remember accidentals carry through, so that's why that last D of each measure is still D flat, not an open D. All right, now we're moving on to measure 7. We're going to do kind of the same pattern with our F naturals versus F sharps. So this is going to go from 7 until 15. Careful for the tied 8th notes coming up about halfway through here. All right, so here's 7. Ready, and. So again, watch the ties. Make sure you're holding that long enough. We'll talk about that measure with the whole class. Check your up bows. And now we're here at 15. So we're going to start actually with pick up to 15 on that low 2 B flat, move it up to a high 2 B natural, and you'll notice that they start off this measure with writing out all the 16th notes, but then they go to 8th notes with a slash through it. That means to play it exactly the same as the first half of 15. It's just a shorthand of writing. So you're going to do doubles on each one. If this is tricky at first and you want to single it down, that's perfectly fine. So instead of doing, you could just go through this whole thing. Just read it as eighths. Okay, so again, B naturals to Ds. Otherwise, not too crazy with the fingerings right here. This should be pretty easy. So here's your low 2 going into 15, nice and slow. 3 and 4 and. And that's a lot of fun as you get faster and faster. Okay, so now our next 2 lines, we're starting in some slower note values now. You get to take a little bit of a break, some quarters, dotted quarter, and then an 1/8 tied to a half. Check your counting there. I'll count that out loud when we play it. So here is, what is this? 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, measure 27, the quarter notes where it says forte, and we're going to go up to the half note before 39. All right, 1, 2, 3, and. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Lift. now we're at the 3/8 notes before 39. You're going to be with the violins here. And I wrote in the counting for you to help. So just count out those rests with me. I'll be counting it while I play it here. And this shouldn't be a big deal. So here's the 3/8 notes before 39. I'm going to count 2.5 beats before we come in. So 1, 2, 3. And 2 and 3. And 2 and 3. And 2 and 4. And then we take the DSL coda, del segno coda, back to 7, where you see the little weird squiggly sign. And then we play all that over again until you get to the coda, the circle with the cross through it. Jump down to the coda, and that's where we're going to start now. So here's the coda. We'll go through the first ending. And this is going to be similar to what we were doing at 15. All right, so here's the coda. Ready, and... high 3. And then you repeat back to 44, do that all over again, and now we're going to start in the second ending and finish off the piece. So at 57, that's similar rhythms to what we're doing at 39, and then we're going to finish with a chromatic scale going up and a little 16th pattern coming on back down. So here's your second ending to the end. Ready, and... And 2 and 3. And 2 and 3. Alright, so now I'm going to do a run through of the whole thing at a faster pace without stopping so you can get kind of the flow and be able to play through it with me, hopefully. So, of course, at this point, stop, go back, learn these sections, get it a little bit faster, and then come back to this video and see if you can play it through with me. I'm not going to take the DS. I'll pause when I get there, and we'll just jump to the coda. Alright, so here's the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... to 7. Alright, so let's take the coda to the end. I'm not going to do the repeat. This is just going to go to the second ending and through the end of the piece. Alright, here's the coda to the end. No repeat. 3, 4.